Alright, count down and then we'll start. Alright, cue.
Nice. Nice. Give me a second. I want to start this. Alright guys, welcome to episode 2 of Brown Ball Society, and this is an emergency pod, as I'm sure, like the rest of us, it's been a bombshell week, and first, I think as a team, we would like to apologise for the delay from the first episode to the second episode. Few production issues, few holidays, someone going to Japan for 4 weeks over here.
We're just timing. Man.
And then, but look, we're back and it's going to be more consistent, but, I'm excited considering the bombshell that sort of occurred.
I'm still in disbelief that this trade actually happened, right? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, as a Lakers fan, this
I suppose in case anyone who just hasn't known for whatever reason, if you're living under a rock, Luka Doncic, who is 25, a perennial all-star, has been traded to the Lakers for Anthony Marshawn Davis. And it took everyone by surprise. I don't know. What was your immediate reaction to it?
I mean, so we were on call with another mate of ours, right? And I was like, we had a birthday party that night, had to hike to North Melbourne. Yeah.
But I had just finished watching the Lakers versus Knicks game. I was very happy. There was no AD and we got a very dominant and high quality win. Yeah. So then I was like, let me just go on Twitter because I like seeing the post-match interviews and the names going on afterwards. And then I see a Shams was a Karania, and he posted, Luka Doncic has been traded to the LA Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a first-round pick.
And I at that point, when I saw that tweet, I was like, he has to be hacked. Because there's
no one in the history of NBA, even the greats turning in their graves, would not even envision something like that would have happened.
We got into a call straight away. I was like, is this actually for fucking real? Is this actually happening?
I said to you guys, we had another mate on the phone as well, and I was just like, no, you just watch, 15 minutes.
No, I was like, it's fake.
Sorry, my account is hacked.
No, I was like, it's fake.
But
for sure. And then Shams was like, yes, this is real, and then he gave us the trade details. I was like, no, I still
to be honest, I still don't believe it.
No, because here's the thing, if someone hacks you, you would say, yes, this is real. It's not something you would, it's not.
Yes, I'm saying, it's exactly. It just sounds fake. Yes, this is.
And then the corroboration came for multiple other sources. And I'm
ESPN, Digital Report, Sports Center. I was like, oh no way.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
This is when I started making phone calls and messages to everybody.
Yeah.
I've lost my mind.
I was like...
Because, to understand what we gave away and what we got, and I was talking to a mate at work about this, if we're going to choose female artists, because I can't really think of any up-and-coming male artists at the moment. Tyler, at the moment... She's like an all-star. She's got the game on lock. Everybody loves her. She's the next big thing.
I think she's interesting.
Regardless. We just got Tyler and gave up Nicki Minaj.
That's actually a good comparison.
That's what I'm saying. Nicki Minaj is still very much up there, but she's towards the end of her career. It's a whole bunch of things. We got Tyler. Why would someone give up Tyler for Nicki Minaj? That's generally the best way.
For the non-basketball fans, we have to, because I've seen on social media, what's the other sports equivalent?
Yeah.
You got the AFL equivalent, you got the soccer equivalent.
Got the soccer equivalent. I said for football, for those who would understand, it's Liverpool getting Kylian Mbappe and giving up Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
That's the way I saw it. And honestly, bro, this was, I think it's established. Even now, it's been a few days, 2 days since, I think, or 3 days almost.
It's been 3 days.
And I think everyone would agree, from legends, all the media's come out with their, reports and stuff. Everyone was taken surprised by this.
Yeah.
Why would the Mavericks make this trade?
Look, I don't. This is the workings of a franchise, a specific person, or whether it's a group of people within the Mavericks brain trust that thought that their time with Luka was done. Like, that's what I don't get, because with the trade coming out, right? You see like the transaction that occurred.
Yes.
We're talking about Luka Doncic. This is not some regular all-star. This is like a generational talent. This is the second best prospect in the last 10 to 15 years.
Yep.
Right? You can probably put Wemby above him, right? You have, a player of that caliber, right? Generational talents don't come around very often.
No chance.
Right? So,
in the last 20 years, LeBron,
yeah. No, I mean,
Luka, and
you got KD as well. But like, think about it.
KD, he's
up there.
But he wasn't like...
No, he wasn't talented like that. Yeah. But let me just put it in this way, right? Like, it's sort of like an ode or a plea to like the Mavericks fans, right? Like, and to everyone else. Like, you have a player that you scout, right? An ex-player, right? So whatever player, in the 13, 14, 15, that age range, like, you can see the talent there, right? He was at Real Madrid,
right.
Since he was 13.
Yep.
I moved there, learned Spanish.
Pros since 15.
Yeah, right. And, in that league, all he could do was just win. The youngest MVP would win this.
I don't think people are understanding playing professionals from the age of 15 is a different level of quality needed for that. Like,
it's tough.
It's tough.
Look at the crowd. Like, everyone's jumping, everyone's bouncing. Like, it's tough.
And you got to think, this is a growing body. When you're 15, you are just nowhere near developed.
Yeah,
and you're playing against grown men who are 6'5" and above.
Yeah.
200 pounds. I don't know what that is in kilograms.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. But you scout a person like this, and around he's 16, 17 year old mark. He's like, all right, could we as a franchise land this player, right? 2018 comes, right? You see he's in the draft board. He's not consensus number one, because like people still
was number one again.
He was number one, 2018.
Was it when Kings picked
18. DeAndre Ayton. Yeah, because they were like,
Ayton. They picked
No. So Phoenix had the first pick. They picked Ayton.
No.
Then Marvin Bagley came second, because the Kings, Vlade Divac was like, I don't know, rumor.
Right.
Vlade was like, I just didn't believe me.
The Kings are the most poverty franchise in the history of the NBA.
And then, for me to keep going, right? So two franchises passed on him.
Yes.
Right? Atlanta drafts him, not Dallas. Yeah. Atlanta. So Mark Cuban had to give another pick to Atlanta to secure him at number 5, and they picked Trey and did that trade, right? And everyone's like, why would Atlanta do this trade?
Yeah.
Right?
That's just, remember our first episode when we were talking about not appreciating Euro basketball?
Yeah.
Now it's different.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think it started there.
But, to keep going, you draft a player, you've accomplished drafting the generational talent, right? You see his work ethic. The first year in that team, he's blessed to be with Dirk Nowitzki, right?
Yep.
Like, he's there, sort of showing him the ropes, showing him how to become a true professional, all that stuff. And even straight off the bat, like, he was 20 points per game after that year, right? I'm rookie of the year as well, right? Couple of years go by, I think the year after he became an All-Star, and I think All-NBA.
He's been All-Star ever since.
Ever since, right?
And not just All-Star, first team All-NBA. To put into perspective, everyone knows Stephen Curry. Yeah. Right?
Wardell Stephen Curry, yeah.
He has more first team All-NBA selections than Stephen Wardell Curry.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I want you guys to understand
the gravity of the player that just went for fucking 50 cents on the
Don't get me wrong, Anthony Davis is very much an All-NBA player. Do not get that mistaken. Anthony Davis is legit.
Yeah, he is.
However, you've just given up your future franchise player.
Yeah. And like when you look at Luka's work ethic in the past couple of years, getting to the finals for the first time, 2022. Actually, no, sorry, not 2022. Sorry, the Western Conference Finals where he had to verse the eventual champion Curry Warriors, right? So there's a lesson right there. You can see it. Like, okay, the ascension is there. It's coming. It's coming.
What was the real kicker for me? Like when I think everyone realized Luka's legit is when 2020
the bubble. Yeah.
If you are averaging 39 and 8 or whatever he was. Against two lockdown defenders when they were lockdown defenders in Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and he dunked on their head.
Yeah.
Get rid of that PG.
No, but that's the thing. The bubble, it really showed him what he was like, right?
Because the bubble was legit.
I'm not saying it's not. There are people that won't think it's legit.
Champion.
But no, how good was he in the bubble, right? Like the game winners, the clutchness. It's like you see it, right? And then last year, removed from the NBA Finals, you got to the NBA Finals, right? And you get to this point. You get to this point where we are right out today, right? You have a 25-year-old with multiple All-Star selections, multiple first-team All-NBA selections, right? Averaging
entering his prime.
He's 25, man.
To give you guys understand why we're saying, you think 25 is he started at 15, 18. I understand that concept, but to make it a bit more understandable, Michael Jordan won his first title at 28.
28, yeah.
28.
1991, I think, yeah.
91.
Yeah.
So, the prime, and LeBron?
2012.
Yeah.
He was 29.
He was 29. Yeah, so, you got to remember, all of these people, they win it at their prime, which is fair.
I mean, Giannis even, 27.
There you go.
Yeah.
Luka is going into his prime. And, by the way, he is the second highest points per game in the history of the NBA.
Yeah.
Behind only one...
LeBron James.
No?
Wait.
For points per game.
Highest points per game.
History of NBA.
I should know who that is.
Michael Jordan.
Is it? Oh, really?
Michael Jordan.
I thought LeBron had more.
Nah, not points per game.
Oh, I thought that... Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
LeBron's like 25, 27. I think he's
up there.
31.
He's top 10 for sure. Yeah.
But Luke is 2.
Yeah, that's crazy. But that's the thing. What I don't get about this is that why go to the Lakers directly and get a haul that is not representative of the value of other players?
No one beyond, what's his name? The guy, Nico Williams. Nico
Harrison.
Nico Harrison, sorry.
The agent.
And Rob Pelinka. Beyond those two, I do not know what went wrong. Why would someone make that trade? Why
would you make that trade? If you were
why would I? It's not like he's a perennial all-star performing the way he's performing, but the team is still crap. Like if it's like a Charlotte situation with LaMelo, right? If it was like that, I'm like, okay, we're just not winning with you.
Yeah.
Even though as good as you are, it's not like you just went to the finals. Yeah. By the way, Luka was injured throughout the playoffs. And he dragged that team to the finals
with one leg.
With one leg.
This man played 100. This man played 100 games last year.
It was season.
And you're talking about conditioning. This man, Nico Harrison, had the guts to say his conditioning was.
I don't think that can't be the real thing. Like I understand.
I think, and we were talking about this before. We're gonna have a new segment called the Conspiracy Corner. And I feel like this is perfect for this because.
Yeah. Well, okay, you know what? Since we're here, he hit me your conspiracy corner, and we'll delve back.
Alright, okay, so the trade itself. Let's just start there. Let's just not, it is nothing,
Now, for this conspiracy, do you want me to be someone who is sort of going along with said conspiracy, or am I rebuting you in this?
No, tell me what
Can I be Rob Pelinka in this situation?
But my conspiracy isn't with the Lakers. My conspiracy is with Dallas themselves.
That's alright then.
Alright, so first of all, let's look at the major players. Alright, so for those who don't know a lot about the teams, Dallas, Mark Cuban was a previous majority owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He sold off his majority stake to the Adelsons. The Adelson family.
Yep.
They are a casino/gambling magnate. They're like it's like that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
So now I think as of right now, I think Cuban has a 23.7% or 23%.
Yeah, something like
yeah,
that.
it's a minority
But he's
stake.
not involved in day-to-day operations anymore.
Yeah, he's not involved in that, and he's not the major decision maker, right?
Yep. You'll also see Mark Cuban on the Shark, by the way.
Yeah. So, it's one conspiracy that could hold some weight. Trading away a player of this magnitude for nothing in return,
Right.
nothing decent in return,
Yes.
right?
Whoa.
It's no. I'm saying 80 is good.
Yes.
No, but think about it. Like the trade package that you got. If you asked any other team in the league,
they would have given up. They would have given up everything and everyone.
Mate, the unprotections in these picks would have been more unprotected than all the stars in the industry today. Right? That's how unprotected these picks would have been. That is how unprotected these picks would have been for Dallas, right? To give away you're telling me the Mavs thought the best deal was an aging superstar, a role player, two role players, and a first round pick.
One role player, only Max Christie.
No, and
to trade to us though.
Oh, Marky came to
Marky came to us. Yes.
Sorry, yeah. So and Jalen
he went to Jazz. Thank God.
Yeah. but see what I mean? Like even you yourself as a Lakers fan knows like the haul that you got was 10 cents on the dollar probably, right?
If that.
Crazy, right? I think what's happening. Well, I don't think it's happening. What I
if anyone knows the Paul George trade back when they got rid of George Alexander, who's now probably going to be
five first round pick. No, well, yeah,
a six first round
pick swaps and picks.
Yeah. To get Paul George, you would expect maybe a package like that at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is just okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
it's
the return doesn't make sense. If you asked any other team, you would have had a bidding war for all the teams to get Luka because Luka. Come on, man. Who doesn't want Luka, right?
Everyone. I think every team except Nuggets.
Yeah. Maybe Milwaukee.
Nah, Milwaukee would take him. Imagine him and Giannis together.
No, but they'd have to give Giannis.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so they would. Yeah,
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And San Antonio.
Yeah, Wemby.
Wemby's not going anywhere.
No.
Who else is that?
But I think that's it.
Oh, and OKC.
OKC. Right, but like, to go back to the conspiracy, one of the conspiracies that I think is happening is that I feel like the owners are trying to tank the value of the Mavericks,
right.
Detach the fan involvement on the team to get them to move the team to Vegas.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Because that way you can establish. Because Adam Silver said he wants an expansion team in Vegas.
But then I would ask you this.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to detach, why would I want to ask for Anthony Davis? Or is it trying to play it too slick? Where it's like I can't tell them.
Well, you can't just do nothing.
Can't do nothing.
Because then it's like
if you give me say Austin Reeves, Max Christie, a few of the other players, and a few picks for Doncic instead of Davis.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No, but the reason why is because you have to make it look like it's a decent trade,
play,
even though it's still not a decent trade.
So it's like he might be gone soon as well.
I mean,
Kyrie will be gone.
Think about it. All these players, why did they come to Dallas? They came for one man.
Luka Don.
And I was gone.
Luka Magic. And
so
Magic jersey here, by the way.
This trade makes 0 sense. Basketball-wise, it makes 0 sense.
Absolutely.
It does not make any sense.
Took sporting world from football across all the way to like ballet by storm.
Yeah.
It was all anyone has ever spoken about for this last at least 24 to 48 hours. And it's just like, that's a very, you know what, I totally see it.
Yeah.
Being a gambling family and stuff, detaching the fans, that's a very valid thing.
And I feel so bad for the Mavericks fans because they don't deserve this. This kid, Luka Doncic was going to be, it's their savior. It's their city. They have a declaration for him. Did you know that?
I saw this guy outside, pleading,
Yeah, the fan.
He needed to have a statue. Yeah. He was supposed to have a statue outside that arena next to Dirk Nowitzki.
Who in their right mind would trade a generational talent To the Lakers as well, by the way.
But yeah, that's
theory.
Across the league, we're not like, because we're just a friend.
I'm telling you now,
franchise.
29 teams, or 28 teams, because apparently Mavs don't care about Luka anymore. 28 teams are literally fuming that they didn't even hear of this.
Yep.
Right? You have to see that. Everyone, even myself, I'm like, it's unfair, you know?
Look, our future's set.
Oh, absolutely.
Our future and...
You've given up. Let me just put it this way. You gave up the 2018 Lakers young core.
Yes.
For a 2020 championship.
Yep.
And Luka Doncic.
Yep.
How the fuck is that possible?
And I don't think there is anyone else in the NBA that Luka could have gone to that would have been a better match for him in terms of his future preparations on how to be great.
The league and for the league.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
I think LeBron, he's 40, although he's averaging 25, 8 and 8 still. He will pass the torch down to Luka Doncic, is my opinion, and that's how he's going to retire now.
Yeah.
That's going to be his game, I think, 2, maybe 3 years. I can't see him slowing down in the next 5 years. That's just me. But
no, absolutely.
He is going to pass the torch down to Luka. It is Luka's team from, I don't want to say immediately, because the team is not built around him yet. However, at the time of this recording, we have just smacked the Clippers around in their new arena, and this was without Luka, without AD. So we had a friend, his name, if you guys want to get to him on Instagram, his name's Silver25 or something like that. He's maintaining that we will win a championship without AD or Luka. That's how good we are now. So, and hey, I don't think that's so far-fetched, by the way. Let me just get that on the record. We got Austin who?
Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves. By the way,
don't say it.
Just a quick note.
Don't say it.
Just a quick note. He, right now, for the last at least 2 months, he's playing fringe level All-Star.
He's one of the best.
I do not think that's
I saw a comment saying he's one of the best non-All-Star guards in the West.
He and Norman Powell are the two.
Yeah.
They are the two best. And if he was in the East, very good shout to make All-Star.
So now you know, we've sort of digested this Luka trade, right? We know how unfair it is for everyone else except the Lakers.
I just want to say something, by the way. I think which people are forgetting, and everyone is downplaying Anthony Davis so badly, and they're also forgetting how big a ceiling Max Christie has. Yeah. So, as I said, today Dallas played with Max Christie today. 4 from 4 out of 3. He scored 14 points, 5 boards. Yeah. That is an unbelievable debut. And he's very good defensively. He will only get better. Yeah. That's the thing. And now with this, I can't think of anything else that could go wrong with the Mavericks. Yeah. And in that scenario, you guys are a win-now team. Yeah. You guys are, as you said, you got the best defensive player in the league, two-way. Offensively, I think he's good. When his motor is high, he's unbelievable. Yeah. But when it's low, it's bad.
It's bad, yeah.
But look, I wouldn't worry about it too much if I was a Mavs fan for the time being. However, very short window. You have 1 or 2.
Yeah, no, Mavs. That's the thing. And another criticism for this trade is that the Mavs have staked their future for the now.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So they need a chip now.
Oh, it's one
to have some semblance of justification for this trade that you pulled off.
Yes.
You need a winning chip. You need AD.
If it's not this season, next season. Otherwise, you're done.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Can the Lakers compete for a championship right now? Putting aside any moves that are made. We've still got 2 days to the trade deadline. We don't.
As it is right now.
As it is right now.
With your team right now.
Yes. So by the way, all of our wings are back. Unbelievable defense on the wings. Center is a problem.
Yeah.
Jackson Hayes, Chris Wood isn't far off.
Okay. You're saying how far do you think that they will go?
How far do you reckon? Right now, as it stands, with LeBron fully firing.
So you're saying everyone's healthy?
Everyone's healthy.
Luka as well?
Luka's back on Saturday. He's playing.
Tell me the starting 5 right now.
Starting 5 right now is, are we adding Luka?
Yeah.
So
starting 5, yeah.
Luka, Austin Reeves.
Fuck, that's deadly, bro. It's deadly backcourt, man.
Luka, Austin Reeves. I'm going to say, right now, I'm going to go with Rui Hachimura because he's been balling the last few games. And then we get Dorian Finney-Smith off the bench.
You're not starting?
He can start. It can be interchangeable between him and Rui. But right now, Rui started last
Wait,
week.
so you said 5. So, guard.
Luka.
Guards. Luka and
Luka
Chris.
and Austin.
Yep. Bron at the 4. Oh, sorry, 3.
No, Bron at the 4.
Who's at 3? Rui
Hachimura.
And then 5 is DFS.
No.
Oh, Wood.
It's going to be Wood, Jackson Hayes.
Oh, Hayes. Okay.
Jackson Hayes, and then just provide.
I really think DFS should be starting.
Nah. Unless we go small ball LeBron center.
What do you mean? DFS is center, right?
Dorian Finney-Smith is a small forward, bro.
So what is he for?
He's 6. He's like 6.
Oh, but who would be the center? Sorry.
Jackson Hayes.
Oh, Hayes. Okay,
and we have Maxi Kleber.
Oh yeah. Shit, I thought DFS was center this whole time. Who's forward? Yeah, it's forward. Okay. I don't know, man. I mean, you can compete. You can definitely compete.
Yeah, our defense. Actually, no, I lie. Off the bench, by the way, Vando, since he's back, we're 6-0. I want that on the
this is what I would say. With where they will go, because I can't really tell. It really depends on how they gel, how much they gel. As I see right now, I think they can make the second round conference finals.
Well, to be honest, the way I was looking at us this season,
yeah.
If everything was firing in as well, we are very much a championship contender. However, we didn't have a full team. It was not happening.
The chemistry is going to put you back.
Till now. So I was going to say a second round exit.
The chemistry is going to put you back.
However, now that Luka is here, it's giving us a different thing. LeBron and Luka on the court at the same time. Are you fucking nuts?
Mm.
Those are the 2 out of the 3 highest IQ players in the league. Beyond, and the only other one is Nikola Jokic, and that's it.
Yeah.
2 of them on the same team, who are you going to defend? Watching them do that dribble up the court, who are you going to do? Who are you going to stop?
You essentially have 2 LeBrons.
We have 2 LeBrons.
2 LeBrons,
One's still athletic, and one's not athletic. The non-athletic one is the younger one.
That also was the main reasoning for Dallas to ship him away was the conditioning part. They were like, well, he's not.
But as you said, he played 100 games last year.
That's what I mean. Like it's double negatives.
There's conditioning issues. You would look at someone like Zion. That's conditioning issues. Yeah. All the potential in the world, but nothing he can do with it. But with Luka, he's playing and he's averaging 39 and 10.
Yeah.
Like, brother, there's conditioning and you can do something better, but relax.
Yeah.
And I think Markieff Morris said it best. He's like, if he's averaging 10 and 10, I think he's all right.
Yeah. No, but I think the chemistry this season will. They need to have that chemistry, right? And remember, I know Luka's IQ is obviously big, right? So he can learn the playbook pretty easily. JJ's playbook, he can learn it pretty easily. But coming mid-season into a team, no matter how good you are, you still need time to gel. When you had the slottery of trades a couple of years ago to bring you guys to the conference finals, right? You had that team only worked after an established set of time, right? So with Luka, there's no expectation of this year for you guys to win. But next year, I feel like you guys will come out firing.
Oh, we're going to go
firing.
Nuts.
You guys are going to
go
nuts. Yeah, absolutely.
I
can see you guys next year.
Honestly, I just think if I'm Luka, the Mavs humiliated me.
Yeah.
They cost me $116 million. US, that is. Just like $180 million.
Yeah. Oh, it's because, the Supermax. Yeah.
Supermax.
Yeah. The Supermax restriction.
If I am him, he even said this is the first time in my career I took the entire time required to come back from an injury. I never I was play. He's coming back 100%.
I'll tell you that anger is going to be so well placed.
Watch him average 40, 10 and 10.
Yeah.
If he is doing that, run me a 2025 championship. LeBron's last championship will be Luka's first championship. That is going to be the love story.
That would be such a pass the torch moment.
And then when he passes that, LeBron retires. Then it becomes a Bronny and Luka backcourt. Oh my God! I have just envisioned the future, and I have said to myself, "Let's go." Bro, Lakers future's bright. I'm relaxed. And we'll get another star. We're relaxed. It is what it is.
No, it's good.
But
it's good for Lakers.
For Mavs, I like their team when everyone comes back fit because
it's a good team.
AD at the 4.
Yeah, don't sleep on that team.
AD at the 4 with Gafford and...
He got what he wanted.
He got what he wanted.
He's not going to be playing 5 now.
I think he's been asking for 4 to play at the 4, and he's been telling Pelinka and the team, no worries, we'll sort it out. Just send him away. Oh my god.
Now, look, this out. Now, taking the emotion out of it, shit trade. But, as you said earlier...
Shit trade for them, not for us.
Yeah, not for you guys, for them.
Yes.
But, if you take the emotion aside, take all the pandering aside, the team that Dallas has on paper is very, very good.
Yeah.
Top 4 team. I can see a top 4
team.
Right?
All of a sudden, though, the narratives change. Like Stephen A.
Yeah.
Smith. I hope you're listening, Stephen A. Smith, because I think you're the biggest toss bag on TV. Like, all he did was rag on, street clothes Davis. Now they're the number 1 team in the West.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, they're the number 1 team. Not only are they the 9th seed, let's get that on the record. They're the 9th seed currently. When we were the 9th seed, we ain't got no love. When AD was balling last year. Fun fact, last 2 seasons, AD has played 92% of all of his games.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
That is
durable.
Unbelievable.
Well, out of street
by the way.
Out of street place, yeah.
So now that he's left the Lakers, it's, oh wow. They're the best. Even Shaq today, he's like, oh yeah, I think Mavericks won the trade. What? Mavericks won what trade?
Mavericks didn't win the trade. Mavericks did not win it. If you think the Mavericks won the trade, you are smoking some shit I want.
Bro, look, I've clocked NBA media, and look, we are now technically NBA media. We are very unbiased here at Brown Ball, and I think for the short-term future,
it's great.
Mavs are well within a chance to.
They're well positioned to make a championship.
Their window is extremely small.
Yeah, they've got
whereas the Lakers have got the next 10 years locked down. Absolutely. So I think
the Lakers have no problems, no stresses at all. You've got 5 to 10 years where you can build the team with Luka. You have the LA allure of people. You're going to have mid-level guys. You're going to have buyout market guys. You're going to have veterans wanting to go to the Lakers just to play with Luka.
I saw Nick Wright say something on First Things First.
Yeah.
That the Lakers, for since the 70s, have not had, like, every single player at some point.
Yeah.
There's only been 8 years in total where there hasn't been a top 10 all-time player in the team.
Really?
8 years total. Kareem, Magic, LeBron, Kobe, Shaq.
Yeah.
Right?
Shaq,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
think about the sequence of the thing, right?
Yeah.
There's been a few years here and there where some players weren't there.
Twilights and stuff.
That's almost 45, 50 years. And now Luka, whose ceiling is a top 10 player all time.
Yeah.
Let's get that correct. That is very true.
He's on. If his trajectory is what we think it is, and he's got now a championship caliber culture, team, legacy behind him, how many chips do you think he's going to win? I think he's going to win at least 3.
I was going to say 4.
I'm going to say he has to win. I can see 3 right now.
But he needs to get a good running mate.
As in Luka.
Yeah. For the future. Because LeBron is old, but
they will. Watch. One guy will ask. There'll be a certain guy, an individual that will ask out, and it's going to go straight to Lakers. Honestly,
it's in the stars now.
But
it's in the stars.
We now have precedent of trades like this happening.
Look, I suppose, speaking of Wembanyama, there was a trade to the San Antonio Spurs, so I think we should...
A very minor trade. I mean, it's a good trade.
It's a big trade, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know. There's 2 idiotic GMs, by the way, right now in the NBA. One is the Mavericks and the other is Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Chicago Bulls gave up Caruso, Levine, and DeRozan.
Caruso's in recently,
Yes, and they got no first-round picks for any of them.
I'm not sure what's going on.
If I put you in the GM position at the Bulls, it'll be the same thing. But they, so the trade, if you don't understand, it's like a 3-team trade. Levine went to the Kings.
Yeah.
So he's linked up with DeRozan again. and De'Aaron Fox has gone from the Kings to the Spurs. So now Wemby has an all-star caliber running mate. Not all NBA, but an all-star. Two very different things. I like the trade. However, I don't think that is a big needle mover. It'll make him a bit more pesky. I just don't see that as
I disagree. I think it's a great move.
How's that?
The value of the trade and the player that you got is, again, it's a good value trade.
They gave up 3 first-round picks.
They didn't give out first-round picks.
Huh?
They didn't give out first-round picks.
Yeah, they did.
Who? Spurs. They didn't.
I don't think they did, but
no, they did. They did. Yeah.
Trade.
Castle stayed.
In the trade, Kings got 3 first-round picks
from
whether it's from
Chicago,
whatever. I think there was a first-round pick that went.
Oh, it could have been one. But what I'm saying is
3 for thing, 1 for Luka.
What went out from the Spurs and what they got back. De'Aaron Fox was like the value was there, right? De'Aaron Fox.
I struggle with De'Aaron Fox. I don't see it.
He wasn't. He's an all-star, man.
He's good, but
he's the fastest player with the ball in the league right now.
I'm not denying that.
Right.
I'm not denying that. But there are all-stars, which are all-stars, but they're not needle changers.
But here's the thing.
It's like, I don't know. I know
Yeah.
you think there's agendas that I always have.
Yeah.
But if we got Garland,
yeah,
that's not changing the needle. He's an all-star.
No, Garland before you even Lakers.
Why?
If Garland went to Lakers, bro, he'd be fucking even better.
No, he'd be good.
Yeah.
But
the spotlight would be more on him.
No, it's not even that. But he doesn't move the needle.
Yeah. Also, don't ever say that shit to me again. Yeah. Garland's saying
No.
Fuck you.
Garland. If there's one player in your team that's gone, it's gonna be Darius Garland.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you now that. Same sort of concept. He's an all-star, but he's not a needle changer for a contender. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's. I'm trying to say that. I'm not even saying that. It's like Tyler. Okay, you know what? Fine. Since he gets sensitive about that. So he's Tyler Hero. You get Tyler.
Congratulations to Tyler.
Huh?
Congratulations to him.
Congratulations to him. Now I did originally say yes.
I did too. We both
now I disagree.
Yeah, because I looked at it. I'm like, his body work was
because they're idiots. Like I mentioned, Darren Silva, who thinks Trae Young should be an all-star. Not clutch apparently.
We love him. No, but look, with Fox, you're giving the Spurs again another elite A1 organization who will. Anytime a player goes there,
for 11 years they've done nothing.
No, but with their culture, when players go there, they get better. Like their ceiling is more now. De'Aaron Fox's ceiling will go up with the management.
How
with the
long are you
training.
expecting Popovich to stay? He's very old.
No, I don't know. But here's the thing. I'm not saying they're going to have a championship next year. No, I'm saying when you have a team with a nice, good culture, Sacramento, do you have a good culture? Yes or no? Sacramento.
No.
They don't.
Of course not. All I have is that light the beam.
Yeah.
Light the beam.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like the beam merchants, right?
Yeah.
When you go to the Spurs, they're not beam merchants. They properly do their shit. They make timely trades. They have good development. They've got good coaching, good management. All the tools are there for De'Aaron Fox to thrive and for Wemby to sort of have that connection. And for Wemby to know that, okay, the team is listening to me. The team knows that they want me to win now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wemby's an all-star this year.
Yeah.
Right? After rookie year, year after, all-star. So
I just don't think. But
it's a good trade. I like it, and I think
it's not. I'm not saying it's a bad trade. I just don't think it makes Spurs so infinitely better. Where I'm like, oh, now I've got to worry about them. Unless Wemby is the only one to worry about.
I'll tell you this: that trade needed to happen because now that Luka's gone to the Lakers, the whole West is going to start shifting.
This trade deadline is going to be nuts.
It's going to be nuts.
Jimmy Butler is. We'll just quickly touch on some of the other trades I reckon that.
Mans wants to go to one place and one place only.
This guy's such an idiot, bro. Honestly, he thinks he's going to get a max, and you don't think it's Matt Ishbia is stupid enough to actually pay him a max. Jimmy Butler, and I repeat, Jimmy Butler does not deserve a max contract. He's 35. He's regressed. His game relies on athleticism that he just doesn't have like that. And
he's got the clutch. He's got the clutch gene.
Clutchness, bro. That again, it stopped like 3 years ago.
It's a toughness, man. I'm saying the value's still not there. I'm still not paying.
He's a headache for him.
I'm saying it's the what you get with Jimmy is the intangibles. Like, it's his intangibles that make the player good, right? He's got the skill and intangibles, but again, the age is what. That's the problem. That's the problem I would have with him.
But I think he will end up. Beal will leave.
You reckon?
Beal's gone. Beal's gone. He goes to Phoenix Suns. What other trade? I think there's a good chance that we, Lakers, either get Nick Claxton or Kessler, if possible.
Yeah.
If we can get one of those two, then we're very much championship.
I know the Cavs are circling on DeAndre Hunter or Cam Johnson. If we get one of those guys, it'll be...
Who are you going to give up for them?
Okoro. Probably Okoro and picks.
Okoro and picks.
Yeah, Okoro. Yeah.
We'll have to give up at least 2 picks for...
Yeah, that's fine, bro. Look what we're
Cam
now.
Johnson.
Yeah.
2 picks.
That's
crazy. Okoro and 2 first-round picks for...
You know Okoro... Okoro's like one of the best 3-point shooters in this...
Which is why I'm saying giving up that much for Cam Johnson is wild to me.
No, but...
Well, why would you give up Okoro if he's on the...
It's the whole offense. Like so with Okoro, it's his 3-point shot is good, but it's like more of a corner. Whereas Cam Johnson, anywhere along the perimeter is good.
Yeah, but where else do you want your Okoro type player? Because you got Garland and Thing. They take
But I mean, it's a multi-dimensional sort of 3-point shooter that we need.
Right.
Like we don't need a one-dimensional 3-point shooter. We want a multi-dimensional, right? You want more shooting, it's spacing, right? You space the floor, right? So yeah, I mean, hopefully we get one of those, right?
Either way, I think Warriors, they're calling and contacting every All-Star in the game.
Yeah.
No one's going there.
Do you think they'll make a trade?
Warriors will make a trade.
There might be,
but I just don't think.
No,
I think Warriors are pretty much done.
No, I don't know. I just have this feeling that they're going to pull out something. They're going to pull something out.
I don't know. I just don't think they got the juice or the pull like that anymore. Yeah. And there's talks of Jonathan Kuminga, who was my...
Your MIP pick, man.
By the way, fun little fact, both our MVPs picks got traded with each other.
Yeah, what's the latest now? Oh.
But, no, look, speaking of All-Stars and stuff, I think let's touch on the All-Star selections, which I think are egregious. I think the East has a lot more discussions to it, so let's talk about the West.
All right, so for the West,
tell me.
We've got the starters for the West.
Give me the starters.
Steph Curry. We got KD. We got.
By the way, quickly, Steph Curry, not a starter. Go on.
Yeah, so Steph, KD, Shea, Bron, and Jokic. Right, there's your starters, and then your reserves. You got Ant, AD, Harden, Triple J, Sengun, J-Dub, and Wemby.
Okay.
What of those? We'll start. What do you think about? What do you think about those selections? Is there any name that pops out that thinks that they didn't deserve it, or they do deserve it?
Steph Curry is a star. I don't think Steph Curry should make All-Star this season.
Okay. Let's talk about it. So he's averaging 22 points. I think 6 assists and 5 rebounds.
Yep.
Around that stat line, he's leading the team in scoring.
Yep.
Where they standings well? I think they're like in like the playing, right?
Yeah.
I think he's more of an all-star pick in the sense that it's in the Bay.
Yeah, well, he's a popularity pick.
It's a popularity pick. He's a good player. I think that popularity just put him over the edge into the starters pool.
I think that Anthony Davis is not a starter in the West is ridiculously wild to me. Yeah. And another one is that, what's his name? Sacramento Kings.
DeMarcus. Him being snubbed.
Sabonis not making it is...
He's leading the league in rebounds, I think. He's leading the league in something.
Domantas Sabonis not making All-Star is crazy to me.
It's criminal. It's actually criminal.
But who else? Jalen Williams.
J-Dub.
Actually, no, he's been...
No, the number one seed in the West. J-Dub has been a good, good running mate.
The three big should have been Wembanyama, AD, and Jokic, obviously.
Yeah.
And Sabonis.
Sabonis, yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Those are the 4. Steph doesn't, but I think that's probably the only thing I do want to give 2 shout-outs to guards who I think should have made it. Over Jalen Williams, I think... What's the Clippers guy's name again?
Powell.
Norman Powell.
I mean, Harden made it, yeah.
Harden.
Powell had a good campaign.
Norman Powell
very good campaign. Yeah.
was asked to be the guy, and he was the guy.
Yeah.
So I think he was a huge snub.
Yeah.
This wasn't a snub, but I just think an honorable mention. I said it before. Austin Reeves. I understand why he's not there, but he's on the fringe. So
he has improved quite a bit. I've seen that.
He's improved ridiculous, copious amounts, and he's just curiosity. No one from the Rockets.
No, there is. Single.
But guards wise,
I thought Jalen Green would have a case. I thought Green he's my MIP pick as well.
I don't think he's winning MIP.
No, yeah. Oh, he could. I mean, look. Okay, well, let's just touch on all the players, right? Some positives about these guys, right? So we've touched on Curry, KD. KD's leading the league in mid-range field goal percentage. You know that?
It's KD's game.
54%.
That's Kevin Durant.
Crazy, huh?
That's Slim Reaper.
KD, he's still at what was he, 36, 37? He's very old now.
36, yeah.
Yeah, so at least Phoenix got an all-star. Oh, Booker being snubbed.
Booker's not been good this
He hasn't been good.
He's not been good.
I
understand.
KD's averaging 27.
He's an all-star player.
Yeah.
But he has not been good.
KD's averaging 27 too.
KD's KD, but he'll get his spot.
Yeah. Shea, leading the league in scoring. 33 points.
Probably the league MVP right now.
Yeah.
He's not else.
He's probably the front runner for MVP.
Well, Jokic is not actually that far behind.
He's not.
But
LeBron, obviously, with his longevity.
Deserved starter.
Leads the West in assist percentage.
Yep.
So, that with him, even though he's got the age and he may not be averaging a lot of points, only at 24 points now, 9 assists, 7 boards.
Which I think will now increase for the time being because...
But yeah, assist percentage, we know that his game, at least in the IQ sense, is still there and very strong.
He's still the
highest IQ player. Now to add, the second best prospect.
Baby Johnson.
So, yeah. And then, obviously, Jokic leads the league in triple doubles. Yeah. He's averaging a triple double. So, he's leading the league in triple doubles. I think he's had 20 or so.
Yeah.
And he's averaging a triple double 30, 10, and 13.
Jokic is so cracked.
I know.
How much more? His conditioning does not look good to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, there he goes.
Yeah. But yeah, the reserves, Ant, obviously, carrying that team at the moment.
Again, he's not actually been that good though.
Let me tell you this. He's the only guy in the league right now with 200 made threes. He's leading the league.
Is he?
Threes. Yeah, 203. He has had 201 made threes. No, but he's makes. As in makes.
Okay, yeah.
He's had 200. He's made 201 threes. He's the only player at 200.
Right.
And he's leading the league. Right. AD, obviously a reserve now in Dallas. He led the team at the time.
Points,
blocks.
Rebounds, assists. Points, rebounds, blocks.
Yeah, blocks. Harden, as we know, averaging 22 and 8. He leads the league in isolation points per game. Obviously, very on brand for him.
Is it wild for me to say that I would have chosen Austin Reeves over him?
It's wild for you to say.
But
yes.
I was honest saying that Norman Powell should have made it.
That's not a wild pick. I would have actually picked him.
I'm not actually being unbiased here. I just don't think. You know why it's tough though?
Yeah.
Lakers having 3 All-Stars is never going to happen because
why not?
We're a 5th seed and we've already got LeBron and AD.
I don't this year. I'm saying
just generally, but this year they wouldn't do that for that reason, is what I would say.
Yeah, but yeah, Triple J, obviously Memphis. I think there's no two.
Get Triple J out of the fucking All-Stars. Absolutely not. He is not an All-Star. He is not a depoy, by the way.
Well, I feel like because they needed an All-Star. They're second in the West. Memphis have 35 and 35. They have 35 wins. I think they're second. Yeah, they're second in the West. Yeah, they're second. Check your phone. They need an All-Star. Ja didn't get met the All-Star. I think because of games or suspensions and whatnot.
That makes sense.
Triple J, they had to have one in there. So JJJ had.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're second in the West.
Why did I think they were 8th or 9th?
No, man, they're second. They're doing pretty well, man.
Fuck, why don't we buy them?
Yeah. So he's leading the Mavs in the Grizzlies in scoring. So that's good. Sengun.
Yeah.
Baby Jokic.
Yeah.
Averaging 19, 5, and 11 boards.
Okay.
He leads the team.
34 and 16 for the Grizz.